What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I'm Pastor Joe Fox, drinking Folgers Instant. Oh my gosh, how can you do that? It works. Thunderstormy day, all day, and for the next 2 days, so 3 days straight of thunderstorming. And something it strikes me that y'all don't think about, most of you, is managing. I clearly need more of this coffee. Managing and husbanding your energy needs, right? Rationing your energy needs. The way it works, we have solar panels. The sun hits the solar panels, it creates electricity, it goes into a battery bank, and that battery bank is what we draw our power off of. And when the sun is out, the battery bank is topped off, and there's a battery charger that floats it right at the level it needs to be full. And you're drawing out this side, and it's pumping in this side, and it squirts out the extra energy so you don't blow up your batteries. But when the sun goes out, nothing else is coming in. You're just drawing off the battery bank, and so it starts going down. And you got to think about that. When's it going to come back up? When's the sun going to come back out? And so we start doing things like not charging computers and stuff like that. And I have these lights on. This is a rope light that we just got, just so you can see me. For you, YouTube, I'm using my precious power. Something to think about, though, right? Husbanding resources in a time of scarcity. Reading about online and talking to people in the know and things like that. The protein scarcity. My daughter sent me an article from some University of Michigan professor or somewhere, maybe not that university, saying, oh, it's not a thing. I don't care what some pompous, pampered, butt-powdered academic says. I look around and I talk to other people who are further out. Actually, we have Vikings all over the country. It's hard to get meat right now, and the prices are incredibly high. So those are shortages coming in. So you got to start thinking about how you're going to husband your protein, right? How are you going to ration your protein? You want a certain amount of protein a day, a month, a week, whatever. And where's more coming in? When's more coming in? Just like with this power. So it's things to think about. What I kind of wanted to talk to you about, and I've been hitting it almost every day on Patreon from one angle or another. And I'll put a link to Patreon down below, 3 cents a day. If you hate it, quit. What I've been talking to them about is that I think that this current pandemic is just the tip of the iceberg. And by that, I don't mean that the pandemic itself is going to get much bigger, and it could, or mutate badly. It could. I'm not talking about the pandemic anymore. The pandemic is a thing. It's hurting our economy. It's making people freak out a little bit over the social distancing, isolation thing. People are starting to figure out, wow, we're not all just like little individuals. I want to be with my Bezos. Put that over here. I think there's 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 coming in to us. And we better be prepared for it. And I want you to be prepared for it. And I don't think most people are. Most preppers think in terms of storing things. I store things so I can get through this event. Kind of like going back to the analogy of the solar power. What happens when you've stored, in this case, the battery power, and this will get me through an event. It'll get me through the next 3 days and keep my refrigerator still going with no problem. But when nothing else is coming in, what about that, prepper? You don't have any replacement for your survival supplies that you're using. My wife just did a live stream. Sister Kate Shofar Mountain is her channel, where she was talking about a huge event back in 535. They think Krakatoa volcano went off, and it created like winter for 2 years or something like that, and it had massive changes throughout the earth because food wasn't growing, populations moved. We talked about that on Patreon also yesterday from a different angle. What was that? It's a line from a movie, and I don't remember what movie it is. No one expects the Spanish Inquisition, Black Swan events. your life as you know it could radically change. Radically change. Are you ready for that? Are you ready physically? Are you ready mentally, emotionally, spiritually? It could change. It could change quickly. I tell people, and I've been interviewed before, and I've been on some TV shows and stuff, and I always say, because they ask it, how long do you think we have, Pastor Joe? At any given time, I believe we are 72 hours away from chaos. Just pure, utter chaos. At any given time, which does not mean the day after tomorrow or whatever, chaos is coming, but it could. And so what to do? I just told you, being a prepper and having your stuff, your supplies of Folgers instant coffee. I've got 8 cases of this. I'm good to go for the apocalypse. When you start drinking your Folgers and there's no more coming in, what's your plan there, big guy, big gal? It's like beating the drum, but it works. Because I get some of you contacting me and saying, keep beating that drum. Literally, they say that, Pastor Joe, because we finally took your advice and came out of her, my people. You need to you're a prepper, right? Preppers are all about self-sufficiency, about rugged individualism, and you need to get that. You need to not depend on others for anything. To the extent that you can, you need to be self-reliant. Most importantly, food, shelter, and water, and medical. A lot of that is skills. A lot of that is time that you put in. Right now, I just talked to a brother, 2 or 3 days ago, and he said, he took his savings account, which was substantial, and he cranked it into food production at his place. Just cranked. Bought fencing, built materials to build sheds and cabins, got sheep, got goats, got chickens, put in a garden, put in an orchard, put in a vineyard, and it's like, this is where I'm going with this. Yeah, see, this is thinking. And he said, to get back to the point, he said, next year, I do not want to have a grocery bill. To what extent are you working on not having a grocery bill or reducing your grocery bill? To what extent are you working on providing calories for you and yours? And again, sure, the best thing is to move to your little slice of heaven in the country and do it. I get it, but you can't. Most of you can't. Well, most of you can, you just won't. So, okay, you're not gonna. That doesn't mean you can't produce a lot of food. Food's where it's at, people. You got to produce food. I don't care what technique you use. And whenever I do something like this, people are like, oh, well, hydroponics works really good. And they don't even have a hydroponic system. Or, I've heard that permaculture is really good. And all they do is go to permies.com and they don't do anything. I don't care what techniques you use. I don't. Whatever works for you. But you need to turn your lawn in the garden. You need to turn your yard into food production. Oh, Pastor Joe, there you go again. This is my third take on this video, so I don't think I mentioned this in this one. The coming protein shortage, it's already here. It's already here. The price of meat is going sky high right now. If you can find it in this area, fertilized duck eggs, which is different. They're made to create more ducks. They're going for some, I don't want to lie to you, but my wife just was talking to another woman. They're going for, it's almost like $1 an egg. I think it's $10 a dozen for duck eggs. And those might not be the fertilized ones now that I think about it. Whatever, it's ridiculous. Like we're talking about increasing our ducks to sell duck eggs. But the point is, the reason that is because people are starting to realize, I don't have any protein. I can't get it. We talked on Patreon, I think yesterday, about how back in 535, the volcano went off and it created darkness around the land forever. And that caused crops to fail, animals to die, and huge population shifts and political changes and Well, people moved to the coasts where they could fish. Do you know how to fish? You should. You should be good at fishing. You should be good at gardening. And reading a book and socking away some rods and lures, or watching a video and putting away your little can of survival seeds and a hoe and a rake, this isn't cutting it, people. You need to start doing the things. And a lot of you are home from work, so you got nothing but time to be digging in the backyard. And so I really encourage you to do that. I live in an apartment. You don't understand. No, you don't understand. Figure it out. Go find a place to grow some food. Start a community garden. Join a community garden. Go out. Whatever. I'm giving you concepts here. But I think big changes are coming. And I think you need to be physically prepared. That's food, water, medicine, to be on your own. A lot of people are talking about the vaccine. People are saying, this vaccine's coming, the army's going to make everybody take it, and I'm not taking it, and dun-dun-dun-dun, it's going to cause civil war, blah. Okay. Again, don't care. Put that up here. Let's say you're anti-vax, you refuse to take the vax, and you fear, we talked about this on Patreon too, you fear what's going to happen when you say, I'm not taking it, and then you can't do anything. They won't let you do anything. You can't buy, trade, or sell. What happens when you don't do that? Well, then you're on your own. So you got to provide for yourself. So you better get started now, right? Because your battery bank is going to run out. So you need to create a way to generate more power, to stick with the analogy there. Same with medical, same with everything, which is why another one of my themes that I beat the drum on is getting together with other people, because you're going to need other people. Running a whole bunch of fence over a couple acres, you don't do that by yourself. You get some help to do that. So, stuff's coming, people. War's coming, famine's coming, pandemic's coming. It starts sounding biblical, doesn't it? Revelation. Daniel. So this is my admonition to you. I was just reading an article. I didn't read the article. That's not true. I saw the headline of the article a couple times as I was scrolling through different things, and I want to go back and read it, but I haven't. And it's basically that here's Americans going, oh, woe is me. We're locked down, and I can't do anything. I don't know what to do with the kids, and we're so bored, and I'm binge eating, and I'm getting fat, and there's nothing to do. And they act like what they're doing on lockdown is hard. Boy, those people are in for a rude awakening. A rude awakening. Those people are in for a rude awakening. Don't complain to me when you've got electricity and hot and cold running water, and you have food, and you have the internet that you can just Netflix is going crazy because everybody's watching Netflix. Instead of plugging into a device and watching movies, what people ought to be doing is out in their backyard, making a garden, creating some chicken pens or, whatever, talking to their neighbors, getting ready for what's coming. Because the government is not going to save you. And for those it saves, you're not going to like how they do it. Be ready to take care of yourself long term. Not just your battery bank, to go back to the analogy, but you need to figure out how you're going to get sunshine shining into your solar panels to keep that thing refilling on everything. Don't be dependent on other people. And do the best you can with what you got, where you're at. Don't say, well, I don't live out in the middle of the Ozark Mountains like you do, Pastor Joe. I can't. Figure out a way to do. Do something. You have a little bit of time to get ready. But that window's closing, people. And I want you to be ready. I want you to come out of her, my people. But, hey, this shirt, the sale ends tomorrow, I think, the 17th. I flipped my calendar around so you can't see my OPSEC, bro. Right around there. Today or tomorrow, it ends very soon. And then it won't be available again forever. And also, this one, keep calm and Viking on. They both say that on the back, Viking preparedness. If you want one, yes, I get a little bit of money for them to keep the lights on, man. but not much. I don't know what they cost. $21, $22, $5 shipping, whether you buy one or 1,000, so it's a pretty good deal. I'll put links down below to that. But what I want you to take away from this video, get ready. More's coming, and you're going to be on your own. No one's coming to help you. So you better start not thinking about. You better start taking the actions to set yourself up to exist in a different world. All right. I'll see you out there.